for Ruud. I'm CEO of DeltaHawk Engines and one of the principal investors as well. We're going to start this off with a very short, less than 2-minute video to kind of give you a video recap of some of the things that have happened since I was up in front of you a year ago. And then I'll get back on the stage and we can talk about some of the exciting new things for the press conference. Here we go. Great. All right. So I'm pretty informal from that standpoint. So in the back of the room on the left-hand side, we are from Racine, Wisconsin, just down I-94, about an hour and a half south. If you haven't had a chance to visit us yet, I highly recommend it. Hopefully you've seen from the video that we've had a very important year for DeltaHawk. But one of the things I want to start this press conference off is with a press release that came out today in a relationship between DeltaHawk and Vulcanair. This morning, DeltaHawk is pleased to announce that we've entered into an agreement with Vulcanair to incorporate our DHK 180 engine into their V1 aircraft. We have already begun sharing engineering data and technical resources to incorporate not only into the V1 aircraft, but follow that, the P68 and the Aviator platforms from Vulcanair. And I guess I'm excited to say that it's another OEM that we've been able to validate the DHK engine families. And I'd like to bring up Mike McMahon from Vulcanair's U.S. operation to just say a few words before I continue. Mike?
Good morning. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. This is a significant additional step for Vulcanair, something new that we're adding to make our aircraft the most appropriate aircraft for the flight training market. For those, I'm just going to touch on a couple other things we've recently announced. That we are, as most of you probably think, the airplane is manufactured in Italy. That's the end of this year. It's going to be done here in the United States. So parts distribution and manufacturing will be done in North Carolina. I also have our parts distribution out of that facility. We also just started our own aircraft finance company called Vulcanair North America Aircraft Finance. And we're principally going to be doing leasing on those airplanes. If anybody wants to know the specifics on that, but the numbers are very good, put it that way. But then what's going on here with DeltaHawk is that they fit in very, very nicely with what we're trying to do with the airplane. And there's three things we're trying to do with the Vulcanair in this market. Number one is to be affordable. It's already significantly less expensive than the other four-seat training aircraft in the marketplace. At least $100,000, as much as $300,000 less. It's rather basic airplane. Its interior it's got leather in it, but it's just plain. It's also got a G500 TXI avionics package in it. That brings the cost down by quite a bit over the G1000, which is not necessary for a training aircraft. So it's less expensive. Also, we're trying to build it as rugged as possible. So a couple illustrations of that is that the airplane's been out for about 8 years now here in the US, and there are no FAA ADs on the airplane. We've also had no landing gear incidences with the aircraft. So it's very rugged. And the third thing is, I always do this. What's the whole third thing? It's a good airplane. So anyway, I hope you all get a chance to do some research on the airplane and the DeltaHawk engine, and that we get a chance to talk to some of you. My contact information is in the DeltaHawk press release.
So I think we're excited to announce that relationship with Vulcanair today. We do have more OEM integration announcements to come, but that's what we have for today. So right now I'd like to bring up Dennis Webb, who works for DeltaHawk, to talk about a few more of the features and some of the other things that have happened throughout the day, or the year.
Thanks, Chris, and good morning to all of you. Did you stop the jets? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyways, we're excited about the relationship with Vulcanair, and as Chris said, we have many more things coming, probably sooner than you think. From a business standpoint, last year we talked about taking reservations. We just opened up our reservation platform. We have been, for lack of a better word, overwhelmed with engine deposits from individual owners for both experimental and certified aircraft, and obviously there's the OEM interest on the other side of the equation. From a technical standpoint, we've made a number of improvements to the engine because we decided before we shipped our first engine there were some things we knew would really make it better, and we didn't want any first customers to think, why didn't I wait? And so the most important one is this. We have a new engine block technology. I invite you to come over to our booth to see it. Our existing block was fine. It passed FAA certification testing, and it was a great block. But we knew we could do better. And so we introduced this, we just finished this new technology. It's a highly innovative block design, which is stronger, it's lighter, and it's much easier to manufacture, which of course will help our throughput getting through, through production. Other improvements, and I'll just give examples, things like we had some external oil lines and other lines which are now incorporated internally into the block. That makes it easier to install, certainly a lot easier to maintain, and reduces possible leak points. So just basic improvements to the overall technology of the block. I think we talked about this last year, but I'll reiterate, we also have another team besides our engine team, which is the aircraft integration team, and their job is to put together firewall forward packages for both experimental and for certified as well. This is a really highly qualified team consisting of engineers, A&Ps with IAs and so forth. They are highly engineered, they're flight tested, and with full documentation when we ship the packages. Fully functional tested before we leave the factory. Now that was the engineering side, but when it comes to production side, a firewall forward package will be put together, fully functional tested before it sees our customers' hands. And we've done a huge investment in engineering and packaging to really make this a high-tech product, which is high quality and easy to maintain. We've also done a lot of investment, I'll say, in a higher level of coming up with standardized engine packages so it's easy to adapt our standard packages to different airframes. You don't want to have to start from scratch every time, so we really standardize components like heat exchangers and mounts and pumps and so forth, so it makes it easy to for us to do a quicker throughput as we engineer different packages. We've done a lot of work on aerodynamics, including improving heat exchanger efficiency at reduced drag, and that's showing up in our performance of aircraft like our Cirrus. So, and there are a lot of improvements as well for easier maintenance. But back to kind of the bottom line here, from 1 year ago to now, besides all those improvements, between the engine itself and our firewall forward packages, we've taken 78 pounds out of our normal installation package. That's a big number. That's a big number. I see Jim in the front row going, yeah, I mean, everybody wants weight taken out of their aircraft. So that's something we're very proud of. Yes?
So for several of you that were down at Sun and Fun with me earlier in the year, we also announced our MOU with Piper for the Seminole Aircraft. That project is continuing, and we're excited about the progress we've made there. We also announced the 200 and 235 additions to the 180 horsepower certified engine that are finalizing the certification process as we speak. You may have seen a press release that we have started on the RV14 integration package for the Vans customers that have requested it. Today is the first public unveiling of that RV14 package. It's at our booth, so if you'd like to see how we've incorporated our engine firewall forward package into the RV14, please stop by. We've also announced the installation package with the Bearhawk, and as you saw from the video, we've done extensive flight testing over the last year to improve our package design in both the SR20 that achieved 25,000 feet as well as our Velocity V-twin, so that we can get 2 engine hours for every manned flight hours above and beyond the pusher technology as well as the tractor, so we can do both. Our testing facility continues to run almost around the clock. We have the ability to run unaided or unattended, so that we can get more flight hour or more engine hours than will ever be seen in the field. We also had a very important real-world demonstration of a flight from Racine Baton Field, just south of here in Wisconsin, down to Jacksonville, Florida, where we demonstrated that we were able to achieve a 55% cost savings in a real-world demonstration against the standard SR20 for the exact same flight, the exact same conditions, based on not only our engine, but prop efficiency, altitude performance, and fuel savings. Also have an installation package survey on our website that's gotten over 1,000 people responding to the survey, well over 1,000 at this point. It's interesting to see the top results, and I'll just name a few. As you might imagine, the 182, the 172 family of planes is on there. PA-32, PA-28 is on there. The RV-10, RV-14 is on there, among a host of others. But if you haven't had a chance to put in your name, in fact, I talked to one this morning who's stopped by the booth to say, "Hey, where's mine? Where's my vote show up on the list?" Because they knew that they had the interesting. So there's been a lot of interesting technology there. We've also been nominated and used in several hybrid electric power situations. If there's one thing that the industry hype has been as far as electrification is concerned, but the problem with that is range. The problem with that is the ability to do that. So we've had many, I'd probably actually say most, full electric platforms come visit us, because in the end of the day they need an application with a range extension option that our engine is very well suited to provide over a standard electric platform, creating the power necessary and the range that they need. So there's a host of things coming from DeltaHawk in the future. Please stop and see us and learn more as we go. Back to Dennis.
Yeah, those are your notes. Anyway, So anyways, the last thing here is just to invite you to come see our booth. We're over in 226, right? You can't miss us because we're in front of Hangar D, which is the DeltaHawk hangar. We're the sponsor of the hangar, so we're right in front of there. And what you're going to see is a whole lot of talk about our innovation, not just our technology innovation, but our business innovation, our maintenance innovation, our ease of operation innovation, our future innovation. Chris just talked about that. So innovation is really what this company is all about. And what you'll see at the booth, besides just learning more about the innovation here and some engines that are on display, including our new block, which you will see there as the centerpiece. Our SR20 is there, our Velocity V-twin is there, and as Chris said, it was non-flying in here, but the fuselage package for the RV-14 is there as well. That aircraft will be flying later this summer. So again, we invite you to come to our booth. Please visit us, 226. As Chris said, you are always welcome to visit us at our factory as well. We have some pretty cool stuff to show off. So with that, two things. There's media kits in the back of the room, and beyond that, we're going to get to, are there any questions? Yes? Maintenance training, great question. There's a couple aspects to that. I'm going to start with a side issue, and that's that we have got documentation I will put up against anybody's. It's thousands of pages written by A&Ps. All of our tech writers are A&Ps, so they understand their audience. And beyond that, the engine is just pretty simple to maintain. We're also coming up with a whole series of videos which step through for A&Ps. They'll be available, of course, by anybody in the world. On the oil pump, on the fuel pump, or whatever, step by step, how to disassemble, how to inspect, how to put back together. And then we also know we're going to need some actual formal maintenance training as well, and that's being put together. So, but yes, it's very much on our mind. Yes? Well, I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
On your website of current certification effort, and also, possibilities for future kind of addition?
We have the specifications are on our website. Is that what you asked? Yes, the normal specifications are on our website. It's also downloadable as a PDF, or you can pick up one at our booth as well. We are not yet talking about the future engines. I don't believe we have that on there, but we have some other more powerful engines coming in the future besides what's on there. We do have the 180, 200, 235 horsepower specifications on there. Yes, Steve. Absolutely. Yeah. This is, huh? Oh, is the four-cylinder scalable? And by the way, if you want to answer these, feel free. Steve, you visited our place back in 1922 or something. So yeah, this has been a long time coming. It's taken a long time to get this done. And what we've really invested in is innovation and the technology. This really was tough to get done. It's not as easy as it looks. Having said that, the technology is now developed and proven, so it's very scalable. 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, or so forth. You can do the math on horsepower. But the base technology is developed, so it's not so tough now. We moved from innovation to engineering, and engineering is more of a known process, so absolutely very scalable. So when I talk about larger engines, it's really adding cylinders. Yes, Jim.
During our test flight when we came down to Jacksonville, first thing I noticed is the line boys pull up in 100 level. My wife flight was upstaged and
Yeah. Yeah.
normally associated with two-man continental.
Yeah.
The flight vibration was a lot less than I expected in this kind of elevation. But it seems to me that there's a real need to educate the FBOs and the little airports and so forth and so on now that not everything is what looks like a conventional piston front end is going to be burning head gas. And that is now becoming more and more part of our future.
Yeah.
My biggest concern with everything we provided, it does like a real revelation. I really enjoyed it, but my biggest concern is the flight question.
To repeat what Jim said, I set our flight to Jacksonville. Actually, we Jim got to flying our SR-20 on that record flight we were talking about. His concern is misfueling, just like all of us who were pilots back a few decades ago. Remember all the concern about putting jet fuel in an avgas engine. Now the opposite comes up. And there's a number of things that we're doing to mitigate that. By the way, we had a conversation a year ago with GAMA on that very issue, General Aviation Manufacturers Association, and I think he even talked about getting the IATA involved because that's a serious concern. So a couple of things. Number one is placarding. Number two is it wouldn't be required, but it would be generally a good form on especially a new aircraft to put jet fuel nozzles in instead of keeping the avgas nozzles. And it's just going to take some education and there'll be an outreach to make that happen. But certainly that is a valid concern, Jim. By the way, Jim also said he enjoyed the flight and he was surprised how smooth the engine was. Did I just, yeah. I had to make sure they heard that part. Other questions? Okay. Well, again, I invite you, most importantly, get some Kringle. You can only get that from Racine, Wisconsin. And secondly, make sure, maybe it's the other way around, but make sure you come visit us at our booth. We're fully staffed and you can see all the stuff we talked about that. Again, booth 226, right in front of Hangar Delta for DeltaHawk. So thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.